Hey, I'm Jessie David from Metal Wani, and I am here with Gary Spivack, who is the Executive Vice President for Danny Wimmer Presents. Now, you book bands for festivals like Chicago Open Air, Fort Rock, Rock on the Range, Carolina Rebellion. Honestly, the list goes on and on of some of the largest North American festivals. So I want to start off by asking you, how'd you get into this job?
Well, I was at record labels before that, I was a frustrated drummer in some rock bands and decided to cross over and get in the business. Rock and roll is something that always is important, and I couldn't live without it. So, all right, if I'm going to be a businessman, I better be in music. So, jumped over and worked in record labels for many years, and what always brought me back was the live experience and live music, in particular rock and roll live music, and formed a partnership with a couple guys, one of them being Danny Wimmer, and we launched Rock on the Range 12 plus years ago, and Carolina Rebellion was next up, and we just kind of kept on putting flags in the sand, and we are waving the rock flag 24/7, 365 days a year.
I can't believe it's already been 12 years for Rock on the Range. You must be so proud because that festival has really taken off.
Well, thank you. We're very humbled by this, and we are nothing without rock fans and rock media. We're all in this together. And when we started it, we just kind of felt like, okay, there's some really great music festivals out there, Coachella and Bonnaroo and Lollapalooza, but where's the great rock festival? And, what I mean by that is not metal, not alternative rock or punk rock, just rock and roll. And we really felt it was being underserved, and we kind of hit it with Rock on the Range and just used that as a template and moved on from there. And Carolina Rebellion is now in its 8th year.
I love it. It's amazing. Can you walk me through the process of how it works? How do you go about booking bands and picking the right ones for each festival?
Well, it starts from the top. We always want to recognize, the headliners first. That is always the most important. Though, with our festivals, we really do care about, giving the rock fan the biggest experience possible from doors to curfew. So the undercard and the support bands and the side stage bands are really important to us. But we do start at the top, and we also don't want to water each festival down. We want each festival to have its own identity. Case in point, the only place you could see Muse at a U.S. festival in 2018 will be the Carolina Rebellion. So we want to have some special moments at each festival, and I think we do our best to do that.
Now, does it come down to whether the band's on tour, or does it come down to preference?
Well, both. I mean, we do have a short list of bands that are very passionate about that. We listen to the audience all the time. We listen to the audience at Welcome to Rockville. We'll listen to the audience at Rock on the Range, and obviously we'll listen at Carolina Rebellion. And again, it comes down to, can we get them and have this short list of bands, and having Muse and Queens of the Stone Age together was something we jumped at. In addition, to have Godsmack and Five Finger Death Punch and Breaking Benjamin, Alice in Chains, Shinedown. These were all priorities for us.
It is a wicked lineup, but how do you go about breaking up the days then? Because like you said, Carolina Rebellion, you have Friday, Alice in Chains, Stone Sour, Shinedown, and then Saturday, Godsmack, Five Finger Death Punch, Hatebreed, and then Sunday, you have your Billy Idol, your Incubus, your Muse. Is there a reason for that, a method for the madness?
Well, yeah. I mean, some bands do prefer to play with other bands, but that's where scheduling comes in. Muse can only do Sunday. Alice in Chains, touring-wise, could have only done the Friday, and then you do your best to curate to have the best like-minded bands. But we also want to mix it up a little bit to have Alice in Chains and a Shinedown and Stone Sour, but also have Stone Temple Pilots on the same day. Because at the end of the day, it is rock and roll, and we don't want to be just one thing to one person. We really want a variety of rock, and to do our best to give that variety.
Hell yeah. What are some of the weird things bands have asked for, kind of like tour riders? Have you had any of those?
Not really. I'm just going to say that they've come to know what we are all about, and look, we're very accommodating to the fans, but we're also accommodating to the bands. We want everybody to have this great experience. So we have really great catering. for the fans and for the bands, and it's never really I've never gotten the green M&M's request.
Knock on wood, right? We don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
No,
right. Watch something come in now.
Yeah, exactly, honestly. I've noticed that there's a lot of overlapping as well for each festival. So, I mean, you have Godsmack, Stone Sour, STP. They're all playing festivals like Rock on the Range, Rockville, Carolina Rebellion. Why is that?
Well, again, we do want each festival to have its own identity. So, sometimes, like a band like Muse only playing Carolina Rebellion, a band like Tool only doing Rock on the Range, a band like the Foo Fighters only doing Rockville. But then, bands tour, and they're available for the run of our late April, May festivals. So sometimes it lines up where, hey, let's get them for all. Sometimes it lines up for, hey, let's just get them for one or two of them.
That's true, and it kind of works that way, because I love the Foo Fighters, and I love Godsmack, and I love Tool, so it makes me want to go to multiple festivals that way, so it's brilliant. I like it that way.
Yeah, and again, I just stress that we want each of these festivals to not be watered down, to have their own identity, to have something special to offer, but remaining that at our core, we are rock festivals.
Hell yeah. Now, I know Godsmack, they announced earlier this year that they were going on tour for next year. So did you already contact them and plan this all in advance, or did you hear that they were going on tour and then try and snag them for the festivals?
Well, this is booking these festivals. It takes a village, and it's a 365-day siege. So we're really in contact with all the bands as much as we can, and know what they're up to. And Godsmack, we knew it was their 20th year anniversary. So to get them for a couple was really important to us.
What do you do differently to stand out from your competition?
Well, I think, again, try to have those special moments like Muse in their only U.S. appearance at a festival next year. We care so much about variety and bulk. Not only the headliners are important, but if you look at the earlier bands like Code Orange, which has got a Grammy nomination, or having somebody like Andrew W.K., who's never been a part of our festivals, he'll bring the party. And then really younger bands. There's this band out of London we love called the Black Foxes, and it's like Seattle grunge meets London in 2018. There's a band from Canada, a two-piece called the Bluestones, that we are really into, and we want to jump on them. So it's part super serving. And giving them the big bands like a Muse or a Godsmack or Alice or Five Finger Death Punch, and then it's educating, hopefully turning people onto new music like a Turnstile or the Blue Stones.
So creatively, each year, what challenges do you face to make the festival different?
Just remaining fresh, remaining vibrant. We need headliners for tomorrow, so a band like Greta Van Fleet, who we're very high on, to grab them and hope that and prop them up and hope they could be a part of these festivals for years to come. So again, I think it's part super serve and part education.
You said that Carolina Rebellion 2018 is the best lineup that you've ever put together. What would be your dream festival lineup? Well,
Rage Against the Machine would be at the top of my list to have them reunite one day. Although we love Prophets of Rage, anytime we can get Metallica, like last year at Rock on the Range, is always a winner. They are a genre to themselves. But I got to tell you, Carolina Rebellion with this kind of variety, it is the most. It was the hardest one to put together and the most rewarding, because it is so unique that there isn't another festival that we know, especially in North America, that could have this festival, to have Muse and Queens of the Stone Age and Five Finger Death Punch and Alice in Chains and Godsmack, like all in one event. So that for 2018, Carolina Rebellion is the one we're most excited about.
Well, just such a variety, like you were saying, you get Muse and Incubus and Queens of the Stone Age, and I think fans are really going to love that variety. You've worked with countless musicians. Do you have any on-the-road stories with any of these bands that you can share?
I've got one that's not ready for the public. The saddest thing that ever happened to us was the tragic passing of Chris Cornell, who happened to take his life the day before he was to headline. Soundgarden was to headline Rock on the Range last year. And so we had to put together and jam, and we put together a 30-minute video tribute with Corey Taylor coming in the middle of it and doing "Wish You Were Here." I mean, that's not like a wild, sexy story, but it was just so emotional and so dramatic. And to put that together in less than 24 hours for 40,000 people who were there for a sold-out night, to put together a video tribute and have Corey Taylor come in, that was one of the most unforgettable moments I've ever been a part of.
That was a crazy moment. No one expected that. No one saw that coming, honestly. And you guys did act on your feet, which was really impressive. Who's been a highlight band for you to work with?
Well, Metallica is the biggest band in the world for a reason. They're everything's A-level, everything's class and organization, and just military precision. And we pride ourselves on doing that as well. So to have us and Metallica together at Rock on the Range, it really doesn't get much better than that. So in the year 2 of Rock on the Range, to have the reuniting of the original lineup of the Stone Temple Pilots and their first show back in 7 years, and then fast forward to 2018 to have Stone Temple Pilots come back for our shows, including Carolina Rebellion again, is really special because we get those songs back, and that's the most important thing. We'll never have Scott Weiland back, but at least we'll have STP and their songs back.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because I wanted to touch base on that because you did have Scott Weiland. You played the very first Rock on the Range with Velvet Revolver, then again years later with STP, and it's amazing to see that STP is returning with their brand new singer. Have you listened to any of their new stuff? What are your thoughts on the new singer, Jeff Goot?
Yeah, I saw the new STP at they did a special show in LA at the Troubadour, and he just serves the songs. Great voice, great front man. Again, he's not Scott Weiland, nor does he claim to be. And it's just a really special thing to have this band return for rock and roll. It's important.
It is, and especially when he has a voice like that and it's fitting. I think it is impressive. That's all the questions I have for you. Is there anything that you want anybody else to know, your fans and festival goers and lovers?
Well, just, I think we're all in this together. It's a very dividing time right now. Let's use our rock festivals, including Carolina Rebellion, to unite and be together and celebrate, live music, especially live great rock and roll music, and go to CarolinaRebellion.com. It is all there, all the festival and ticket information. And I want to see everybody in North Carolina come May 4, 5, and 6.
Love it. Gary, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, you bet. It was a pleasure.